The tension surrounding this fight has grown into something far larger than a promotional headline or a casual back and forth between two fighters. It has become a collision course built on confidence, pride, business, and raw physical danger. From the moment Anthony Joshua addressed the idea of facing Jake Paul, it became clear that this wasn't a typical war of words but a blunt reminder of what separates a seasoned heavyweight champion from a brash newcomer forging his identity through spectacle. Joshua made it clear that boxing is not a game of punch power alone, and that mastery comes from a deeper place, a place of spirit, endurance, intelligence, and the ability to break an opponent not only physically but emotionally. To him, the notion that Jake Paul genuinely believes he can stand toe-to-toe with a heavyweight of Joshua's size, strength, and pedigree borders on delusion. And yet, Paul has continued to pump life into the narrative with unwavering bravado, doubling down on his belief that he can not only compete but deliver the knockout that eluded him in previous attempts to lure elite fighters into the ring. As analysts dissect the possibilities, one truth remains impossible to ignore. Joshua is simply not built like the opponents Jake Paul has faced up to now. The layers of muscle, the years of Olympic-level training, the experience of fighting giants in the division, and the cold precision that top heavyweights develop in order to survive all shape a fighter into something fundamentally different. Even those trying to show Paul respect admit that a man like Joshua cannot simply pull back or take it easy. His natural strength makes even a relaxed punch dangerous, and every movement carries a weight that Paul has never encountered. Joshua doesn't have to load up power to hurt someone. He simply has to be who he is. That alone has raised serious concerns throughout the boxing community about whether Paul truly understands the scale of the storm he is stepping into. Despite the warnings, the talk hasn't slowed. Joshua has positioned this fight as a business decision, acknowledging that the money on the table is far too substantial to ignore. It is an opportunity to stay active, rebuild momentum, and earn a staggering payday with minimal risk. For a fighter recovering from a complicated period of inactivity, this matchup offers him the chance to regain rhythm while barely stepping outside first gear. Analysts like Chris Algieri view it as almost a controlled environment for Joshua, a chance to sharpen his tools while facing an opponent who, despite his growing reputation, is nowhere near the threat posed by world-level heavyweights. For Joshua, the reward is massive, the risk minimal, and the timing ideal. Yet the questions surrounding the fight remain tangled. Debates about whether it will be an exhibition or a sanctioned bout continue to surface. Jake Paul's history of unpredictable behavior and last-minute opponent changes force Eddie Hearn and Joshua's camp to move cautiously. There is interest, undeniably, but also skepticism. Joshua's team must prepare as if the fight will happen while simultaneously guarding against the possibility that Paul pivots at the last moment, leveraging Joshua's name merely for attention. Still, the financial promise is so great that discussions have gained real momentum, and for Joshua, one of the biggest paydays of his career now feels closer than ever. Boxing figures from across the sport have joined the debate, making their positions clear. Some applaud Paul's courage, recognizing that stepping into the ring with someone like Joshua requires a level of bravery most wouldn't dare to consider. Others ridicule the idea entirely, pointing to the absurdity of a cruiserweight influencer believing he can survive against a man who has dismantled some of the most powerful heavyweights of the last decade. Many highlight how Joshua obliterated Francis Ngannou, an elite MMA champion with legendary toughness, sending him crashing to the canvas in a devastating knockout that reminded the world of Joshua's frightening natural power. If Ngannou, known for walking through punches that would break ordinary fighters, could be dropped so violently, analysts question what hope Paul realistically has when facing that same force. What makes this moment even more intense is that Jake Paul, for the first time, is stepping into a fight that strips away all protective layers. No aging legends. No retired MMA champions. No novelty attractions. He is staring at a real heavyweight in his athletic prime, a man with Olympic roots and championship experience. For Paul, the consequences of this fight stretch far beyond a single night. If he loses badly, the entire experiment of influencer boxing could suffer irreversible damage. The mystery of what would happen if Paul finally fought someone at an elite level would be erased forever. The allure of the unknown, which has helped fuel his career, would collapse in one violent moment. Analysts understand this clearly, and many have warned that once this door is opened, there is no returning to speculation or carefully crafted matchups rooted in spectacle rather than danger. Yet even with the risks looming, the anticipation surrounding this fight is enormous. Fan interest has exploded across social media, sports networks, and mainstream outlets. Some tune in to witness history. Others tune in hoping to see a dramatic upset. Many tune in expecting Paul to be taken apart in brutal fashion. Regardless of motive, the attention is undeniable, and the hype rivals major world title fights. The fusion of Joshua's established reputation and Paul's colossal influence creates a spectacle that transcends traditional boxing demographics. For promoters, broadcasters, and advertisers, the fight represents a perfect storm of commercial opportunity. For Joshua, the decision sits on a scale balanced between legacy, business, and the desire to stay active. For Paul, the fight stands as the ultimate test, a moment where confidence meets consequence. A victory would shock the world and elevate him into a realm no influencer has ever stepped into. A loss, especially a punishing one, could unravel everything he has built across years of branding, promotion, and carefully staged progression. The world now watches, waiting for confirmation, waiting for details, waiting to see if this improbable matchup will become the defining spectacle of modern boxing's strange new era. And whether fans support or oppose it, one truth remains unshakable. If the bell rings and these two men meet in the center of the ring, the result will echo far beyond a single night. It will reshape narratives, challenge assumptions, and reveal the true limits of ambition in a sport built on danger. What do you think will really happen if Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua step into the ring together? Is this the moment that changes everything for Paul, or the night that ends his experiment for good? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next breakdown.